Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here at Kentucky Speedway in the Cup Series. A tough, challenging track that I'm probably not looking forward to the most, but we'll see what we can do here today at Kentucky for race number 10 of the season. But first we have the Xfinity Series, and that takes place here today at Talladega Super Speedway with Paul Menard, of course, behind the wheel for our number 77 Menard's Chevrolet Camaro here in the Money Line 300, starting at the back of the field. Of course, being a plate track, we can never qualify to save our life when it comes to these ones now, as we would get ready to take the green flag. So it's been a solid Xfinity Series season so far. Honestly, I think the Xfinity Series has been our best season or series so far here in the career mode this season now, as we got Menard behind the wheel. But then in the Truck Series, we've been having a pretty solid season over there as well. And then on the Cup Series side of things, well, we're winless so far this season, and we just don't seem to have the speed capable right now of winning races at Hendrick Motorsports in general. So that's something that we're going to really have to work on, as we still have plenty of time left in the regular season, of course, so not too concerned yet. But now our winless streak is just getting a little bit longer and longer. I think, 10 races now or something like that. And that is actually like the longest one in recent time for us. So definitely got to get on top of that here in the future now, as Menard was slowly working his way through traffic. He wasn't having the greatest start to this race here in the Money Lion 300, but as time went on, he would close up towards the top 10 here, as he was just continuing to use that bottom lane to his advantage. As I say that, he moves up to the top here as he goes down this back straightaway, but nonetheless, he was still making up a good chunk of time now, as he was trying to pass that 07 of Ray Black Jr. there, as he was 3 wide for a brief moment, but he would get in behind him there into turn 3 and settle in once again. But by the time we came through, approaching now the final lap here, down the back straightaway, he was looking up the inside of the 44 of Tommy Joe Martins, and now was up towards the top 5 here in the closing moments of this race, down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time. Now up the inside of the 11 of AJ Allmendinger, to the back of the 7 of Justin Allgaier, and even to the back of the leader now of the 92 of Josh Williams. As it comes through out of turns 4, it was looking like we might have a chance at victory, but as soon as Paul got to the back of Williams, he would kind of hit that barrier that you just can't break through sometimes at plate tracks, and unfortunately was forced to just ride to the end here of this finish, as he comes through to finish in P2, runner-up at Talladega Super Speedway. But honestly, I take that as a pretty good finish for us here at Talladega, considering where we started, and we haven't had a great history with good plate finishes here in the Xfinity Series. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen right there, we got Joe Graff Jr. down in P26. Ty Gibbs had a rough day down in P27. As you guys know, Ty Gibbs will be replacing Denny Hamlin in the career mode next season in the Cup Series, so stay tuned for that now, as that's the only silly season news that we have even had this season, is Ty Gibbs going to Joe Gibbs Racing. Usually by now we've already had 3 or 4 different announcements, but I have not really had anything to announce yet at this time now, as we come through to start our qualifying lap here at Kentucky Speedway in the Cup Series in our Dr. Pepper number 24 Camaro. I felt like we actually had a pretty decent turns 1 and turns 2 now, as I didn't want to get too close to the bottom, but overall it felt pretty good. We come through to cross the line with the 31 flat pretty much, and actually go P18 here for the Quaker State 400, which was about what I expected in terms of qualifying pace here at Kentucky Speedway for the Quaker State 400, as we're going to check out the rest of the qualifying order here. Up towards the top 10, you got Austin Cindric, who just won last time out at Road America for the first time in his career, but it's Kyle Busch on pole, Ryan Preece there in P2, Timmy Hill up in P7, so a strong qualifying effort for him. Chase Elliott, our teammate in P15, as we're P18. Kyle Larson down in 22nd place. And then we look down towards the bottom part, Alex Bowman in P34, and CJ McLaughlin at the very back of the field. So the best HMS qualifier, Chase Elliott in P15. Then we got an affiliate car, of course, with William Byron up there in a better position than all of us now. As I come into this race, as you guys remember, we go to Kentucky twice this season, not once. We come back here in the playoffs. So I was really using this race specifically as a learning tool. So if we don't run very good today, this is going to be a good opportunity for us to learn going towards the playoffs, just like Las Vegas earlier this season was. So I will get a good feel of the car in this race, and hopefully by the end of this race we'll have a good idea of where we need to go in the future. As you see, Lewis Hamilton forced to the back as he failed inspection there now, as we're going to get ready to take the green flag here for the start of this race at the Quaker State 400. Now as the green flag is up, we are underway from the 18th starting position alongside alongside the 12 of Daniel Hemrick. Matt DiBenedetto just in front of us there in that 10 car. Already had a strong season for DiBenedetto, gone to victory lane already once this season, so he's already locked into the playoffs. And similar to last season, we've had a lot of different winners so far early on, so definitely can't rule out a potential 16 different winners yet. Now as we go down towards turns 3, there's some big names that have still yet to win, like myself, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Larson. All of Hendrick Motorsports winless so far. And an interesting fact, Joe Gibbs Racing, actually, they're in the top 5. All their drivers are in about the top 5 in the standings right now. Even Christopher Bell is having a great season here for Joe Gibbs Racing. So in a season where his career is on the line, he is doing everything he needs to do other than win so far now as we come through to turn 2 side by side with the Red Bull of Christian Eckes. I would not count the rookie of Eckes out of the playoffs, and maybe I could see him, or I could expect to see him potentially get to victory lane in his rookie season as well. But you can see just how wild this initial start here is in Kentucky as I'm right to the back of DiBenedetto, now looking to the inside of him down this run straightaway. My driver behind us in that Going Racing Chevy, Suarez, moving up towards the top 25. Hasn't been a great season for our new team. Didn't expect to fire off very good this season, so I'm not really surprised by the performance, but Daniel has had a couple top 10 runs so far now as we are now up the inside of Noah Gragson into turn 3. Kyle Busch currently leading the way, but Timmy Hill, he was really slow on this start. He qualified really good, but was dropping like a rock there. As you see that alternate scheme for night races that you might see for Timmy Hill, that Latchion made there, so a black and red instead of a white and red version of that Target Chevrolet Camaro. So we come through now on lap 5, and I was now trying to make a pass on the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Couldn't quite pull it off right there. Christian Eckes was actually back to my outside making a pass as we sail it off into turn 3. But then the caution comes out for the first time here tonight in Kentucky with Kyle Busch leading the way over second place, which currently belongs to Hailie Deegan as William Byron has actually moved up to P3. So some speed in that 88 car early on in this race for that Earnhardt Johnson Racing Chevrolet Camaro, as everybody is going to be staying out here. So of course we are going to be staying out as well as we get ready to go green for this restart. There's you see the rest of the running order right now. Cole Custer all the way down in P40, and well, the reasoning for him running down in P40 is because he is now out of this race here in Kentucky Speedway. So we get back now underway from the 16th position right behind the 11 of Denny Hamlin, another driver that has a win this season, locked into the playoffs in his final season of his Cup Series career. So we'll see if Hamlin can somehow finally get his first championship of his Cup Series career now has come through the center of 1 and 2. 3 wide behind us. Derek Kraus up my inside as we exit turn 2. It's been a very subpar season so far for that 2311 driver. Now as his teammate Bubba Wallace has been outperforming him for the majority of the season so far, but still, like I mentioned earlier, it's still pretty early in the season. We're about almost a quarter of the way now, or actually, sorry, half of the way through the regular season at this point now. So we are running out of time pretty quickly now, as our struggles have definitely have not gone unnoticed right now, as we have not had a great start to the season. And we've had a lot of races outside of the top 10, and I mentioned recently that at this point in the season, a couple races ago, we had about 100 less points than we did at the same point last season. So it kind of shows how far off we are as we clear Denny Hamlin into turn 3. But right now, 10 laps complete. We're only running P19, worse than where we started in this race. Definitely a bit of an effect from the restarts and whatnot. William Byron in the 88 car now out in front, leading the way as he's battling it out for the lead with drivers like Kyle Busch as well as Hailie Deegan as we sail it off into turns 1. Christopher Bell up there in the mix as well. He's actually up into second place right now as we try to clear the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We would get past him now on lap 11 into turn 3, sailing it up the inside of the 3 of Austin Dillon as we exit turn 4. Stenhouse right behind myself there on the exit of the corner. Eric Jones here in that 02 McLaren. He's been having a strong season, but now on lap 12 I was actually able to get up in front of him here as we went down this back straightaway. So now we're starting to make up a little bit of ground here, move up into the top 15, and now we're running down that number 2 car of Ryan Preece. And sure enough, on lap 13 into turn 3, we look up the inside of Preece as well, and we just continue to gain positions here as we pass that halfway point in stage 1. So closing in towards the end of the stage, and as that run gets longer, the car gets better for us now as we were up the inside of that 23 of Bubba Wallace now on lap 14, approaching 15, just a handful of laps to go in stage 1. Through turns 1 and 2, we sure enough would be able to get clear of that 23. So we move up into P13 now as we exit turns 2 down this backstretch, and as we came through now to lap 16, all of a sudden Austin Dillon out of nowhere had actually gotten past all those cars I passed, and now was looking up my inside into turns 1. I kind of cut him off right there. I didn't want to let him have it, but then I realized there's so much speed in that 3 car right now to turn 2 that I just let him have it right right here, as now Christopher Bell, for a brief amount of time, is leading here in stage 1, looking for the stage victory in that 20 car. So we get cleared by Austin Dillon into turn 3, and I was trying to battle back, but I just didn't have a whole lot. Now as we come through to start the final lap of stage 1, William Byron back out front as he leads away out of turn 2. I sail it up the inside again of the 3 of Austin Dillon, trying to make something happen here out of turn 2. No stage points for us here in stage 1 once again now, as that's becoming a bit of a normal thing for us, unfortunately, here this season in the career mode, as we once again dive up the inside of Austin Dillon through turns 3 and turns 4, but it's not going to be enough from the looks of it as we exit the corner. Dillon has the momentum. We're trying to side draft him, but I just wasn't alongside enough, so we come through to cross the line in a disappointing P14. So we only gained 4 positions throughout that whole first stage here at Kentucky Speedway in the Quaker State 400. So clearly we got a lot of work to do, but it's not just a number 24 team issue. It's more of a Hendrick Motorsports issue right now. I mean, Chase Elliott is the best HMS car right now running in P8, and then we're the second best in P14. We do have an affiliate car, of course, with William Byron leading the way, winning stage 1 and picking up a playoff point. I don't really know, guys. I mean, the car honestly doesn't feel bad. It's just not fast. So we got to work on the speed. That's the problem. I don't think the handling is an issue. We just need speed. There, you heard it on the radio now. Just speed is really the issue right now. The car felt pretty good there, especially at the end of the stage. We do gain 1 spot on the pit lane. Now we will be on the inside in P13 for the start of the second stage here in Kentucky, which is now underway. And for the start of stage 2 here in Kentucky, it is now time to get amped. There you have amped here from Kentucky Speedway, running still P14. We lost 1 position since the initial restart to get the second stage underway. Right now, Kyle Busch leads the way. Harrison Burton up there in the mix. Burton, he's already went to victory lane this season as well. He was our biggest competitor all of last season, and it looked like it was going to go right down to Phoenix as we were the ones going for the lead in that race, and then Burton actually had issues putting him back towards the field, and we were able to come out with the championship now, as we are now under attack from that 23 of Bubba Wallace. You saw that the car just kind of got tight right there, and I did make some adjustments, tightening the car up on the pit lane. You saw that after stage 1, and I was regretting that because you can see how tight it was right there out of turn 4, and now lap 6 we actually clipped the outside wall. That leaves the door wide open for the number 6 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to just cruise on by on the outside, and now as we sail it off into turns 1, we are down to P16. Christopher Bell leading the way, but you can really see I'm dealing with the car being way too tight. I thought we made the right call here in tightening the car up a little bit now, but it was clearly the wrong call. I just had nothing here. So we come through now to lap 10, just 8 laps to go in stage 2, and now the car was starting to come in a little bit now as we were able to clear the 6 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., move up now into the 15th position, but just running out of time here already in stage 2. Now to the back again of the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Chase Elliott had actually briefly gotten up to the lead here, but would actually lose it to William Byron, who would once again take over now in stage 2, as I was up the inside of the 23, sideways right there for a brief moment now as we're side by side on the exit of the corner. Now Bubba doesn't want to give up P13 or P14, but I really of course want to get going, so as we go down into turns 3, we will be able to clear that 23 of Bubba Wallace in that DoorDash Toyota Camry for 2311 Racing, as Byron continues to lead the way. Now into turns 3 on lap 15, Elliott actually back out front, so he was up there putting up a good fight right now as we come through out of turns 4. Now on the inside of Christian Eckes, who fights back strong on the outside, but with 2 laps to go in stage 2 now, we are way too far back from 10th. I felt like right now we were probably faster than whoever was 10th place, but just of course not enough time, too much distance between the two of us now as we come through Out of turns to a big mistake actually right there as we exit the corner into the wall we go with a lap and a half to go in stage 2. And what happened right there was basically I felt like I lost a little bit of grip and I just pulled the wheel right, and I mean I just did not get anywhere loose as I anticipated I was going to get, and then we just went straight and into the wall we went. Now it's come through to start the final lap of stage 2, so a very uncharacteristic mistake from myself right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of wall hits here in the career mode, but that was just an awkward one from myself, as that was just me being stupid, overcorrecting the car, way overcorrecting the car to say the least here as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time, but definitely gonna have to go back on those adjustments that we made here at the end of stage 1, because the car was just not good right now as we exit turns 4. So this frustrating season continues over into Kentucky so far as we come through to end the second stage in P14 once again. So exactly like stage 1, William Byron wins the stage and we finish P14. That's exactly how stage 1 was, and that's how stage 2 comes to a close as Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, Derek Krause in the 2311 car, and Harrison Burton round out the top 5, and then we got Ryan Blaney to round out the top 10 in the McLaren, who's having a very strong run so far here today in Kentucky. Now, he's had a very subpar season, hasn't been the start he was looking for, going to a brand new team, jumping over from Penske Racing, but now tonight having a very strong run so far here as we would get ready to take the green flag here from P14 for the start of this third and final stage here in the Quicker State 400. So far, we haven't even been inside the top 10 for a single lap, not even half a lap in this race. We've been in the top 10, so definitely going to have to work very hard here in the final 25 laps to make that happen. I think a top 10 would be almost a victory for our team right now as we sell it off into turns 1 and turns 2 here as we got that 10 of Matt DiBenedetto up my inside now as we go down this back stretch. So William Byron swept the first 2 stages. He's been looking pretty good this season. I mentioned, I think, might have been last episode or the episode before, that Byron and that Earnhardt Johnson Racing team, now this is their 3rd season together. In season 1, they won a race, made the playoffs, didn't do anything. Last season, they didn't win a race and they just kind of struggled, but they had overall decent pace. And now here they are this season, running strong all season long for the most part, and now here they are in position to win their 2nd race as a team and get Byron his 2nd win overall of his Cup Series career as well, because we started this career mode before William Byron had picked up a victory in real life, so Byron was still considered a 0-time winner going into the career mode. Now 0-4 wide in front of us between Stenhouse, DiBenedetto, Hemrick, and the number 82 car there of Christian Eckes for Red Bull Racing. So 3 Fords and a Toyota going at it now with 23 laps to go as we go down into turns 1. So only running P16. We haven't made up anything right now as we come through the corner. So a lot of ground to make up now, and I mean just the first 10 laps or so of these runs, it just felt like survival. Just hang on the best I can, and then about a lap 11 of the run or so, we can really start to get going somewhere. As you can see up ahead, William Byron now trying to pull away from the field as I'm trying to look up the inside of Daniel Hemrick. He does stay clear for a brief moment now as we come through down the front straightaway. Now on lap 47, well, we got the 23 of Bubba Wallace now up my inside as we come through out of turns 4 into that quarter panel there of the 82 of Eckes now as I'm trying to not run into him, but the car just once again felt pretty tight now as we come through to the final 20 laps. Some contact again there with Eckes as we go down into turns 1. Fortunately, that doesn't turn into anything. He could have very easily lost control of his car right there now as Bubba looks up my inside as we exit turns 2. Now down to P17 we go. I don't know what's going on, guys. The car just is not fast. I mean, it's driving fine. It's just not fast. There you hear myself, kind of some urgency right there on the radio, just emphasizing it drives pretty good right now. It's just got no speed. That's the real problem with this car right now. And as the season goes on with these continuous speed issues, of course, those frustrations continue to build right now as they're side by side in front of us between the Red Bull and the Roush Fenway driver of Eckes and then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. now. So we come through to lap 52 of 67. Now the thing was, well, we're going to have green flag pit stops here pretty soon. So we had to get ready for those now as we're up the inside of Stenhouse into turn 3, trying to get clear of him and then get up the inside of DiBenedetto. So now the car was starting to kind of come into our favor here as this run was going longer and longer. So my hope was that it was going to stay green to the end of this race, because if it does, I think there's a legitimate chance that we might be able to get into the top 10 before this comes to a close here. Now on lap 54 into turn 3, well, up the inside of Eckes and a very easy pass on the Red Bull rookie. So out of turns 4, we clear him, move up into P13 now as we come through to lap 56. I'm looking at the field, only 7 laps of field left in this car. car there as we were now closing in on the back of Daniel Hemrick in P12, and honestly I felt like we were one of the faster cars on the track at this point in time here as we come through turns 1 on lap 57. Now 6 laps of field, but then the caution comes out and ruins all of our plans right there, because now everybody's going to be back on fresh tires. William Byron, Derek Kraus, Blaney, Kyle Busch, and Christopher Bell, your top 5. I didn't know exactly what to do right here, so I was a little bit kind of hesitant, but I decided to go with just 2 right side tires, and I was hopeful that was going to be the right call. Now, as I was looking at the wedge, thinking about adjusting that because of how this car has been driving, but I also considered the fact we're only going to have 2 tires, so I felt like we're just going to play it safe and throw 2 tires on the car here, come into the pit lane from P13. So hopefully we'll come out here on the inside line. That's going to be crucial, and we lose 1 spot and drop to P14, and we've been running in P14 for so many laps here in this race. At the same time, I guess you look at it, P14 so far, we've been kind of in the mid-teens for quite a few races this season, and we consider that just a disaster. You know, there's other drivers in the Cup Series and teams in the Cup Series that would love to be running P14 every week right now as we go down into turns 1 on what could be this final restart of the night in the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky Speedway. Right behind that number 12 of Daniel Hemrick right now as Kyle Busch is in front. Now William Byron lost the lead on the pit lane, so Byron now, his win is in jeopardy as we come through turns 3 and 4 on the outside of that Tenda de Benedetto. We could be 3 wide here on the exit of the corner. Bubba Wallace now up my inside after de Benedetto gets clear. Hemrick to my outside here as we come through the travel. Now just 6 laps to go here in Kentucky. Now still 3 wide, middle between the 12 and the 10 as we go down into turns 1. Kyle Busch continuing to lead the way. William Byron leading that outside line. He needs to find a way to the bottom very quick as it got very tight right there. Moving up the track, the 23 gets clear, but fortunately I get clear of the 2 of Priest. So we now send it up the inside of Bubba Wallace into turn 3. Now Derek Kraus up front to the inside of Kyle Busch, and Derek Kraus in the 2311 car in his first season with this new team in his second season in the Cup Series takes the lead with 5 laps to go here in Kentucky, looking to pick up the victory for that 45 car as we go down into turns 1. Byron, though, now gets to the inside up towards the front of the pack. He runs P3 right behind Kyle Busch as I'm on the apron there a little bit sideways, and fortunately we save it. That would have been a disastrous moment to lose a car right there, but I lost so much momentum. The 2 of Priest, the 23 of Bubba Wallace, and the 82 of Christian Eckes all get brought into the battle. The 3 wide up in front of us, Kyle Busch gets cleared by William Byron, so now it's now the 45 of Derek Kraus, William Byron, Kyle Busch, your top 3 as we come through across the line in the final 4 laps as we've had some action-packed racing here on what could be this final restart. Kraus once again to the top, Byron to the inside, and William Byron returns to the lead here in the final few laps now as we're going to be 3 wide again on the exit of turns 2 in the middle. Eckes to the bottom, Bubba Wallace to the top here as we come through down into turns 3. Now getting back into the inside. Byron, though, now long gone as now Christopher Bell is up in the mix, passing his teammate of Kyle Busch, moving up into P3. I once again get clear of the number 23 of Bubba Wallace, and as we came through to now 3 laps to go into turns 1. Now looking up the inside again of the 82 of Christian Eckes. We've had some great racing here late in this race, and it's only for like P13 through about P16 here as we go down this back straightaway into turn 3, approaching now just the final 2 laps of this race now as no one seems to have anything for Byron now as we're going to be almost 4 wide there. Stenhouse fortunately didn't actually force it there, so we're only 3 wide in the middle, but we get cleared by the 12 of Daniel Hemrick. Now he kind of checks up. I take it 3 wide again into turns 1, going for everything we can. Some just great racing right here now as William Byron's under pressure from Christopher Bell at the very front of the field now, as I was also trying to make sure I don't get over aggressive and crash the car and force a restart on one of my technically William Byron is a teammate, so we don't want to mess him over. Byron actually goes to the top, Bell to the bottom, so it's not over yet between those 2 now as we clear the 12 of Hemrick on the exit of turns 4, but he tries to fight back right there. White flag in the air for William Byron for Earnhardt Johnson Racing in that 88 car now as we go down towards turns 1. We haven't had Hendrick Motorsports in victory lane this season. We haven't even had a Hendrick Motorsports Alliance car in victory lane here this season, but that's about to change for William Byron as now Hemrick again to my outside down this back straightaway side by side for the final time for P14, P15 as we sail it off into 3 and 4 for the final time in the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky Speedway. William podium. Byron leads away out of turns 4 over Christopher Bell and Derek Kraus to win in Kentucky Speedway. We come through to cross the line. We get Hendrick and we get Matt DiBenedetto at the last moment and get P13 in the Quaker State 400. And the way that race was, P13, I can't complain too much about that, as we've pretty much finished about where exactly we ran the whole time. But we definitely need to work on speed in this car, because that was a huge just issue for us in this race. As Haley Deegan picks up a top 10 there. We haven't seen a lot of top 10s for that 4 car this season. Stuart Haas as a whole has been struggling quite a bit here in the career mode, other than Matt DiBenedetto's kind of lucky victory earlier this season. So there you see the rest of the finishing order. Denny Hamlin had a rough race down in P29. Larson, Keselowski as well. Briscoe DNF'd, and so did Cole Custer, of course, now, as we're going to very quickly see the point situation. So after that rough race here at the Quaker State 400, well, we're still in the top 10 of points, P6 to be exact. So we're still actually doing pretty good, but over 100 points below the points leader. I can confirm, you saw it there for a brief moment. I'll show the playoff grid here for all 3 series, but it is Joe Gibbs Racing 1, 2, 3, 4 in the standings right now. So Joe Gibbs Racing is on top of everything right now. They've all gone to victory lane other than Christopher Bell. Hamlin's got a win. Kyle Busch has a win. Harrison Burton as well has a victory now. As you see the playoff grid here on the Xfinity side of things, Tony Bradinger up there at the top. And there you see the NASCAR Legend Series. No Legend Series races coming in the next episode, but in the next episode we go to Richmond Raceway here, so that's going to be a fun one, a short track. Hopefully we can get a good result out of that one now, as you see the playoff grid here for the Cup Series. So the playoff grid, of course, it's not JGR 1, 2, 3, 4, as Christopher Bell is the first driver on points without a victory down there in P10 on the playoff grid. That just shows you how the playoffs are. Bell goes from 4th to 10th just with the way the playoff grid works, as Bowman is the last car in right now. Eck is the first one out, 18 points below the cut line. Then Briscoe and Kraus and all those guys are like 47 and 48 points below. But of course, before we end it, just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Dana 9302, Russell Dixon, as well as Kenneth Barnett. I appreciate you guys helping me out so much. Thank you once again for the support. Thank you to everybody for taking the time out of the day to watch this episode and the other ones on the channel. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.